Welcome to the Crowjo, and I'm Crowjo, and I'm going to be showing you some things that have been happening around Los Angeles and the mess it's created. First of all, Newsom cut like $100 million from the budget for fire department, put it towards his homeless encampment crap, and also DEI. The money didn't go to where the fires were, and now we have this massive problem. The other thing is the DWP with the CEO Quinones, who gets $750,000 a year, forgot about the water that you need to put in the large containers up on the hills and in the reservoir. It was completely empty. They had no water. So when the fire department, and only a third of the fire department showed up, I guess the other was on break and on rotation. They didn't send out the whole force, and that created the massive disaster that we have in the Palisades right now. I guess President Trump's coming out to address that, to give them funding. And the other thing that they didn't warn the folks when they were evacuating, how to turn off the gas. During the emergency, a lot of people left their gas on, electrical and water. You need to shut it all off if you're leaving. I mean, you can leave the electrical on, but it might cause a fire problem. The emergency response needs to tell people what to do on that. What do you turn the gas off? I would. If I was leaving, I would turn off the gas. The water, I guess I need to turn it off because the pipes are going to melt. It's going to leak. And if you have like 100 or 200 houses with melted pipes, that means there's very little water pressure. We don't have any water anyway in the Palisades, but the water that they might have had might have saved something. But because of that, there was no training on what to do. They also sent out emergency responses where they gave out, hey, you need to evacuate right now. And those folks were not in danger. They gave this mass email or text message out to millions of people that were not affected by the fire, creating mass panic and huge traffic jams. But we need to be, as Americans, when we have idiots running California, to be aware that we need to know where your gas thing is, to shut off the gas, and the wrench that you need over at Home Depot. And you can look it up on YouTube. The other thing is, where is your electrical supply? Where is your gate? Can your neighbor get to rescue your dogs? I always recommend combination locks, because if you have a combination lock, you can call somebody and say, hey, can you unlock that to save my dog, my horse, my cow, or whatever you have. And also combination locks on the electrical boxes, so they could turn the electricity off if you want to, where the water location is, where the gas is. You need to know all that. And I felt that it was just an absolute tragic disaster. And Gavin Newsom is spending $50 million to stop Trump's policies, like the illegal immigrant that was setting fires. Gavin wants to make sure he's not deported. So we have idiots running the asylum here in California. If you're homeless and you're setting fires, well, you need, I guess the drug addicts up in the mountains need to keep warm and, cook and do things like that, or, do their meth. I guess you can't inject meth unless you heat it up and inject it somehow. I'm not a druggie, so I don't know. But the police were not allowed to kick out the homeless up in the hills where they don't even know how the fire started. Was it SoCal Edison? Was it an arsonist? Was it drug addicts, homeless people? They don't know. I mean, it's just, California's a disaster. It looks like a nuclear bomb hit Southern California. If you drive over it or you see the drone footage, it's absolutely a disaster. And the thing it comes back to is DEI hiring. You hire by merit, not by what you look like on the outside. And I think Crowley should be fired. I think she's a complete idiot. I don't feel the relationships with the DWP, the fire department, and the mayor's office and the governor were anything but communicative. They were an absolute disaster. How could you be fire chief and not know that there's no water in the Palisades, or no huge water containers up on those hills? They were all empty. In terms of the coalition, there was no coalition. It was just complete inept fools running our city and our state. And now they want all the money. Please, Trump, we hate you. We're going to use our lawyers to stop all your things to get rid of illegal immigrants from coming here. But can you give us billions of dollars so we can spend it on what they want to do? Newsom comes out there and talks about, well, we can make these small little houses, which they want. They don't want suburbs. They want us to live in cubicles, the whole woke kind of thing. And it's a disaster here in California. I've lived here all my life, and back in the 70s and 80s, it was never like this. And in terms of when this all happened, in January 2nd, the Weather Service has warned us about there's winds coming, and hey, there's going to be this possibility of danger of fires. Well, Bass went to Africa, and she left. And she was right on it, right? She lied about it because we looked at the watches on the picture, and when the fires were happening, she was at the party. She wasn't on the plane working to save L.A. That was a lie. The media tried to cover it up. The other thing that was really sad was the homes near the ocean. We have no ships with water pumps and long hoses to put fires out. It's just ironic that you have seawater there that can put out fires right next to the ocean where the buildings are on fire and destroyed. But the one thing good about living next to the ocean, if you're that rich, is the government rebuilds your house for free. Everybody else, you're all screwed. So the super rich get what they want there. And these are mainly woke progressives who voted for Gavin Newsom. All the rich live in that area, the Hollywood folks. So it's almost like God is punishing everyone, the sodomites. But anyway, the police patrols up in the hills, they weren't allowed to do that. They weren't supposed to kick the homeless people out that start fires to keep warm and all that. When the incident happened, they only sent out a few fire trucks at the start, and people were in a panic because no one showed up for like hours before they even saw a truck. Now, in order to rebuild, it's going to be around 200 billion plus. That's if we can build. Trump does not want to give any money to the woke progressive Newsom, Bass, because they didn't follow correct forest management. They didn't clear cut. They didn't clear areas to stop the fuel. They believe environmentalists believe in this pristine, flowery flowers. Of course, everything burns when it dies and gets brittle. It is a powder keg of fire. And that's exactly what happened. When the wind started blowing at 100 miles an hour, it turned into a blowtorch. The heat was melting stuff that normally wouldn't melt. So this was a perfect storm. They had plenty of time to prepare for it, but they did not. Looting was another factor during the fires. They had thousands of people coming in and trying to steal as much as they can. Because you got to remember in California that if you steal anything $950 or less, you just get a citation. You don't go to jail. And a lot of the idiots that were stealing didn't know that law changed. We have some common sense in California, but we still have idiots running the asylum. The other thing is the lie and cover. Hold on, let me close this out. Lie and cover with the media, not telling us the whole truth. But thank God we have social media and we're able to stop the lies that come out. Legacy media is dead. And thank God we have Twitter, Instagram. We can go out and videotape and show the truth. No longer can it be state-run media. It's all been exposed, and Trump has allowed us to express ourselves with the podcasts like mine. But you have to realize that it is very important that we are able to communicate freely. Now, when it comes to the fires, what are we going to do now in California? Wow. I think we have to really get rid of DEI. The people in the fire department, they had one fire person talking about, well, just because we can't pull you out of a fire, it's your own fault kind of thing. No, you get people that in fire department need to be able to pull weight. They have to be strong. DEI is not about merit. It's about just hiring people because what they look like on the outside. And that is the fire department right now. And it is a complete disaster. You need people that are able-bodied, smart, and the best. We don't have any of that here. So that's what's going on here in Southern California with these fires. Trump is coming out and going to analyze what we need to do. But at that same time, what are we going to do? The people that are homeless right now, they have nowhere to go. Motels are filled up. I have neighbors out here in Riverside and San Bernardino. They're taking in their relatives and staying there. They have no place to go. We have a new homeless. We have homeless Americans that are roaming about. And you know who has housing is the illegal immigrants. In California right now, we are getting a huge influx of illegal immigrants taking over housing for people that are homeless. And the people with the fires, here's your $774 check. Now, if you're an illegal, you get $1,200 a month from California, and you get free housing, free food card, free medical, free technical training, free transportation anywhere in the United States without an ID. That's how it used to be. It's gone now, except in California. So all the illegals are coming here and taking up housing because they want the vote. That's what it really comes down to. Getting them driver's licenses. Oh, and if you get hit by an illegal alien, too bad, so sad. They probably won't have insurance. They'll probably leave the country if they're drunk and they killed your family member. So just remember that, you know, some of you that are Democrats out there that are on the fence, look at the damage. This could have been, California could have been the entire United States if Kamala Harris would have won. So these fires are a perfect example of DEI, woke progressive, environmentalist mumbo jumbo that created the biggest carbon spew of all time in Los Angeles history. You know, they always talk about, well, we have the carb tax you have to pay. It's like 65 cents to 95 cents per gallon now that it started with Gavin Newsom, you know, because of the environment and, you know, gas cars create carbon, right? Well, he created the largest, probably carbon mass exodus in the history of Los Angeles due to not clear cutting and no forest management whatsoever. Anyway, that is Crowjo. That is my sermon for today. And I hope your house didn't burn down. And I hope you don't live in California. Yeah, the weather's great, but everything else is insane here. Homeless, crime, idiots. I mean, complete idiots, from the public schools to the colleges to our leadership to the DWP to, oh my God, it's just endless corruption and stupidity here. So enjoy your state wherever you are, and take care. Be safe out there. Crowjo out. This is the Crow Show. So let's play our theme song and yada.